Hi guys, Bonnie Paulson from Finding Your Indie, and I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know something that's been happening on the advertising spectrum end of things with regards to, for instance, meta ads. And these are Facebook ads for those of you who are still locked up in the Facebook part of things like I am. These are ads that the advertising platform that could actually go towards Instagram as well as Facebook, any of the different types of placements that they have. Mandy sent me this article from Bloomberg.com. I'll put the link down below. I think you do need to have like a free subscription or something to read the article. You don't have to subscribe, but you do need to sign up for access. So anyways, just to let you know before you go on and read it, I'll kind of summarize it here and let you know. And then I'm actually going to give you my own opinions on it and my experience and what that means. Okay. So the article is called Meta Advertisers Say Automated System Has Been Glitchy for Weeks. And we have been talking with our clients for the last couple months. We do know that CPCs have been going up for the most part because we are advertising books for authors that are predominantly Amazon and Kindle Unlimited, like that's what where their product is. We only use the traffic style of ads. Now, for those who are wide, again, without being on on a direct store where we have a pixel in place, we always recommend doing the traffic ads because a conversion ad or a sale ad, as they're known, is not going to be as effective without a pixel in place to tell the actual marketing system what sales have worked and what hasn't worked. So traffic ads is a really, really, really important way to be pushing your off-site retailers out, your wide retailers, whether it's Amazon, whether it's any of the other ones. That's how you're going to be targeting. Okay, and we've talked about this before. Go check out my video about that. Now, for direct stores, this is not such a big deal, but I do want you to pay attention because it is something that I'm going to be addressing as I'm talking about what's inside of this article and how it applies to authors. Okay. And then, of course, you will get my opinions because I'm a loudmouth and that's just how I roll. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the last couple months is yes, CPC has been higher. CTR has been a little on the weird side, where I normally expect CTR to be between 9 and 19% for my author ads. It has been ranging more along the lines of 4 to 12%. This is a little concerning to me, but usually I attribute it to lower activity on the sites. I mean, let's be honest, it's spring. Like there's lots of stuff going on, lots of things that people can be doing right now. We have all different kinds of weather things. April itself has been a hugely celestial events, phenomenons left and right. So there's lots of things that are pulling people away from the actual platforms, TikTok, Facebook. You know, those numbers have actually been reported to be down in terms of viewership. However, they're not going to tell you that too much because they want you to be spending your money on there for the ad platforms. So yes, I do see the CTR is adjusting a little bit. I also see something that is really big with regards to activity on the end of you authors who predominantly use traffic ads. Now here's what I'm seeing and why I'm saying this. So the first thing is Dana, I think it's Dara. She's awesome. I'll put her link down below, but I really like her for outside of the author industry ad suggestions, as well as John Loomer. They always know the things, right? Like they're super smart. They know the things, but very rarely do these external industry ad people, ad managers, ad marketing specialists understand the author industry. And here's why. Number one, most of the time, authors only have small ROI or ROAS potential. You're talking about products that are $1.99, 99 cents, $2.99, $3.99, $4.99, $5.99. If they're higher priced, they're more likely a trad offer, and authors usually aren't pushing advertising dollars to there. They might do marketing, but advertising dollars are not being spent on the trad publishing books, which is where you get into those higher numbers. Unless, of course, we're talking about a box set, a bundle, those types of things. Now, with regards to ad spend itself, it's not something that I recommend doing on anything that you're not making you're for sure going to get a return on. For instance, if you are pushing a standalone book that has nowhere else to go at the end of it, even if it's to another standalone or maybe to a magnet on your website, you're going to be having a hard time getting a positive ROI or ROAS. You're going to have a hard time getting that there. Not impossible, but a little bit harder time making money there, because when someone finishes a book, they like to go somewhere else. And that's the point when you start to actually really scale your money. Standalones are not impossible to market or to advertise. I just always suggest having a stronger system in place to make sure that your reader is continuing to go through and you do have a read through in place to grab those readers, okay? Especially in Kindle Unlimited, because it's the more pages that people read that pays you versus the other way around, okay? So if people are reading through all of your standalones, great, they're treating it like a series. However, if you don't have them leading directly into it, they won't know that's what you have. Does that make sense? Okay. Another thing that separates the author world from the whole rest of the world out there is reading is something that is bingeable, okay? Yes, shoes are bingeable. I get it. I have like 22 pairs of Converse. Shoes are bingeable. But usually when you hit a point, you're like not coming back for a while, right? So let's say you buy $90 Skechers. You might not need new ones for a while. Yeah, you'll be a return customer, but it's not going to be quite as timeline friendly as it might be for a reader. Now, readers also might not get through your series really fast, but let's say they've read book 1 in January, book 2 in February, book 3 in March. They take a break in April. Then maybe in May they come back or they find another series. So they're constantly able to return, just like a restaurant. You can always return to your favorite restaurant, especially if you've had really great experiences with them. Now, for authors too, because it's such a low price point, usually it's hard to really justify paying these higher price CPCs and bids. For instance, in the Amazon marketing world, the AMS world, Amazon Marketing Systems world, or whatever it's called, whatever they keep changing it to, they're hoping that you sell by bulk, okay? And that makes sense, but it's really illogical to expect someone to be able to make money back on a $1.50 CPC when there might be getting a conversion rate of like 1 to 10. So let's say that your conversion rate is $1.50, or let's say your conversion rate is 1 in 10. Let's just say it's 1 in 10. Hopefully it's more like 1 in 4, 1 in 3, 1 in 5, but pretty average seems to be 1 in 10. So if your conversion rate is 1 purchase from every 10 clicks and every click costs you $1.50, you're looking at $15 having been spent to sell that one book. The likelihood that you're selling a book for $15 is very low. You're probably more like trying to sell that book that's $3.99. I get it. People are always like, but my read-through is really good. Is it? I really don't know that you can prove that your read-through is that good unless you have all of the data from before. Your free downloads are wiped out. You can actually say, I put $1 here, I get $5 back. Yes, I do see that. And let's be clear. I'm not arguing with that and saying that that's not possible. But what I'm saying is to really justify a $15 spend on one book selling, to me, that seems really rough. So, and we'll get into this later, on a different video on how exactly to help bring the cost of AMS down. Not that everybody's going to watch it, but I will help you figure out how you yourself can save money on your CPC bids in AMS. Facebook is still really nice, and if you're targeting appropriately with a large enough audience, check out my 50-50 rule video on explaining why the size of audience matters. Yeah, this is like a sci-fi romance. Size matters, right? What I want you to do, though, is I want you to understand that I believe Facebook has been glitchy for reasons that are coming, but I'm trying to identify to you why authordom, author kingdom, author whatever, the author world is a little bit different than some of these other ones as we're going to start talking about what's in the article. Okay, so the first one says it's been glitchy for weeks. Yes, it has been glitchy for weeks. I feel a little bit like they're on crack sometimes because I'm pushing, we'll be doing some direct store conversion ads. And again, I still target with those. I do not believe in doing unrestricted targeting. I just don't. I don't believe in it. I think it's really rough. You can still actually target down inside of the AI, inside of their Advantage Plus audience system, whatever they've got going on. You can still target down in there, which I would recommend doing. Don't just leave it for Facebook to spend money on or anybody else to just spend money on. And even they would agree that you should be targeting with some things. You should be putting restrictions on some things so that you can better utilize your spend so that you are having good results. I do not believe that any advertising platform wants you to fail. I believe that they want you to succeed, but they want to make money while doing it. Okay, so they want you to succeed and they want to succeed so that they can make money too. And that's fair, right? We're literally renting off of their platforms. However, let's talk a little bit more about why I think the author situation is a little different than the other industries that are utilizing Meta. Okay. or TikTok or AMS, whatever. Okay. It's saying that their algorithm, social networking juggernaut Meta, which uses algorithms to automatically determine when and where to most effectively show advertising messages, has been hammered by major performance issues, according to numerous marketers. I would agree with that. However, and I'm not going to sit here and break down the entire article. Please go read it. But I really feel like that is the most important thing to focus on right now. In January, Meta rolled out where they were like, it's going to be really difficult for you to be doing interest targets or even more like niche down targets where you have your hands in the targeting for ads. This is not a secret. Meta has been saying this for the last 6 months, before then, that we're going to be switching over. Like, this is going to be predominant. This is going to be where we're focusing on. And that is their prerogative. Again, we're renting their space. However, I believe this is a huge, huge reason why they're having so many glitches on their actual site. Because number one, when you roll out something that has not been tested effectively, you actually are like testing it with everybody else's money. Now, if they had been like, hey, we're going to roll this out and we're going to actually give you $500 for all these, each person's going to get $500 to use this so that we can actually get it tested correctly. I think that would have been really, really smart on their end. Not only smart because it comes from an AI training perspective, but it also creates a trust issue, right? With their people who are buying ad space. If they had done that to me, I'd be like, yeah, sold, like, let's try it. And then if I had seen that there was there's these bugs in place, but this is how I would approach it, great. I am not in the business of spending my clients' money or my own money just to sit here and test the crap out of stuff that I know isn't ready. How do I know it's not ready? Because when I get clients who come in and they've been focusing on unrestricted targeting or doing like as minimal targeting as possible, and they're relying on Facebook's Advantage program, and I literally am seeing things like they're targeting women's magazines for cozy mysteries, I have a problem with that, okay? That tells me that the targeting doesn't know what it's doing. The program has no idea how to target, has no idea how to find people. So that is where I'm kind of like, yeah, this is like, and this is totally like going to be controversial, but I'm not a fan of these unless there's been appropriate timelines and appropriate testing. I have a biophysiology degree, and I do not believe in pushing science unless it is actually tested and has been pushed across the theory spectrum into where it has actual proven results that can be replicated over and over. Ads are the same way. You should be able to apply your testing over and over and over, and it should give you similar results. Okay, so this is where I'm like, what now? You want me to use this targeting and it doesn't really have a lot of people who are like saying it's the best thing ever? Is it really, really good? Yeah, it's great, especially if you have your targeting, your pixel in place on your site, and you're selling from your site, and you are still targeting, and you have your pages targeted appropriately, and you are consistently branding and delivering the same thing over and over. Heck yeah, I totally think that. I do not believe that it works as well as people say it does for traffic ads, which is what you have to predominantly deliver when you are only selling your books and products on Amazon for the KU program, for Apple, for Kobo, for Goodreads, Google Plus, whatever, all of the things, Barnes and Noble. Radish, like subscription, Ream, like you cannot literally say that this is going to be the best thing for you when you haven't trained out your stuff. Does it make sense? Like, and I'm starting to get like really passionate about it because I start getting like time to go to war because what the heck, right? How can it deliver it? So whenever I'm seeing outside of the author industry, even inside the author industry, where they're like, we're having all these problems with the AI stuff, and we're having all these problems with the advanced targeting, and you have to do it this way, and everybody's going to the automated advertising and blah blah blah. I kind of want to freak out a little bit. Like, look, because I have authors coming to me all the time. Well, everybody is saying to do the AI unrestricted targeting, and I'm like, no, not everybody. I'm not. When you're looking inside of this industry, where is the success? I know Vlad, he's not. I'm not. The people who are saying to do it, I feel like I would even challenge this to say maybe they're not understanding the targeting. Maybe they're not understanding how to utilize these things. And hey, like, I know I'm not 100% right, but the last few months, I can tell you, very good targeting is still resulting in strong CPCs and strong CTR. Might not be in the normal range that I prefer, but it's still strong ROI. And that's what I'm looking for mostly. Yes, there's always going to be glitches. Yes, there are things in place. We've got a war going on the other side of the world. We have I mean, there's so much going on right now, and that's okay. But I think when we are looking at and treating things like it's the same across the board for everybody, I think that's what I kind of have an issue with regards to these types of statements of it's like they're automatically determined. It uses, so social network jogging, I can't even say it. Meta is using these algorithms to like, it's really hurting everybody. I don't think it's hurting everybody. I don't think it's, yes, the cost of running ads is up, but I don't believe that there is like, I don't believe everybody's getting hurt by it. I do have some clients who are getting affected by it, but I don't believe everybody is getting affected by it. Another reason why costs are up, seem to be up more, and income seems to be down for a lot of people right now might tie into this, but I highly doubt it. What I think is that we are fighting even harder for people's attention. But again, we can come to that later. And it's fluctuation in market. I've looked across quite a few of my clients for the last, and compared this time of year to last year. And because remember, the year before that wasn't really fair to compare to because we had a lot of COVID and pandemic like runoff. It was still kind of happening, right? So compared to last year and then the Marches and Aprils and Mays from 2019, 2018, very similar activity for right now. There weren't any eclipses though, so let's just keep that in mind. But I did really like what Cody Plofker, Chief Marketing Officer, said at the Jones Road Beauty. This person said, it's brutal out there. And I think that is fair. I think that is a fair statement. There's a lot that I'm not covering in this because, like I said, I want you to go and read it yourself. It's free. You just have to sign up and give me your newsletter, unsubscribe when you're done. But I do really feel like you can still test. You can still find the winning ads. You can still figure out what's going on by utilizing the trends of the data that comes from attribution links, by utilizing different creatives that still deliver the same message as your landing page, by still utilizing, correct targeting. Don't be sending your sweet romances to E.L. James audience. Like, just don't do it. It's not smart. Like, what are you doing, right? So I feel like a lot of those things are really good and really important. Like I said, go and hit this up. A lot of the people that it's referencing are going to be high-end spenders who are burning through their audiences, and they're hoping that Facebook will find them more people and more audiences. One of them that's mentioned in here is a shoe company. Like everybody, if you have feet, you're going to get marketed to, right? And I'm betting they're even marketing to people who don't have feet for whatever reason. Like they're just trying to get people to look at the shoes. Okay, you didn't engage on the first two impressions, you're not on our list anymore. And so, yeah, they are requiring that. But again, they have a much higher range, on ROI. They're much higher expense range here. Their price point is so high compared to $1 for clicks or whatever they're paying. Authors really need to work hard to keep their cost per click low and their CTR high, and to also deliver, to get a return on those $2.99 books. And if you're in KU, a book read is more like 65 cents right now. We're not talking a super big return on these ads. So I think when you're reading anything like this is a really well-written article. I thought it was awesome. But again, keep it, read these types of things, watch these types of videos with a grain of salt, because we are in a different version of an industry where the return is going to be a little different. The ad activity is a little different, and targeting itself needs to be treated a little differently. So I just want you to keep that in mind as you're going forward. Read this article. It's not super long. It does have some good sourcing. I didn't feel like it was very biased at all, to be honest. It actually leans towards the advertisers rather than leaning towards Meta or Google or TikTok or whatever, but there are some really great points in there. And so start looking at these other platforms like Google or TikTok and start actually looking at possibilities for why things are happening rather than just saying my ads aren't working, because your ads probably are working. There's just a whole lot of things that are fighting it right now. And friction is one of the biggest reasons why we have issues on these platforms and why we are constantly testing and constantly being like, oh, this is working, don't break it, right? The moon and the stars need to all stay aligned where they're at because this is working. So I know you can do this. And if you have questions, we're here. Join our free group. We're going to talk more about this in there. We also have HiveMind where we actually do more one-on-one stuff as a group, but we actually get into the nitty-gritty. You send us some ad information. We give you some of our recommendations. Tell us what we're seeing and try to teach you as we're also working together. We have all access to all of our courses. Mandy and I are in there a lot. We also have monthly calls. We're doing a huge group call this coming up here in April that is all about pain points for authors and their marketing and advertising efforts. So all of that to say, check out some of the information that's out there outside of our industry and see what you can apply into our industry, to your products and your brand without actually copying them. Because remember, we're a little different than the other industries. All right, guys, if you have any questions, again, let us know in the comments. I try to reply. I promise I try to reply. I suck at it. And hit like and subscribe, share with a friend. I totally believe success is great when everybody's succeeding, or at least moving in the same direction. And hit the notifications so you don't miss anything. And we are everywhere: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We would love to hear more from you and see where you're at. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.